Lyra sat inside a small iron cage, her knees pulled to her chest as cold light fell on her silver-blue skin. The circus tent around her smelled like smoke, sweat, and old metal. People walked past her cage every hour, laughing, pointing, calling. Her names. They did not see a girl. They only saw a thing. A pleasure animal. She did not cry anymore. She had no tears left. Her family had sold her when she was 10 seasons old because they needed food. They told the circus master she was slow, dumb, and good for tricks. But she was not slow. She was not dumb. She had a mind. She had a heart. She simply learned long ago that speaking brought pain dots as she stayed quiet. Her glowing white eyes watched the circus people as they prepared for the night show. They polished chains. They checked cages. They brought new outfits made of shiny pieces of cloth that Lyra feared to even look at. She knew very well what those outfits meant for her. When the lights turned on, the circus master walked toward her cage with his heavy boots shaking the sand floor. He held a metal stick that always made Lyra's skin burn when it touched her. He smiled as he tapped the cage. "You will bring good money tonight," he said in a greedy voice. Humans love strange things. Lyra lowered her head and hugged herself tighter. That night, the tent filled with noisy humans. They shouted for the next show. They demanded the blue girl. Lyra tried to breathe slowly. She tried to stay calm, but her hands shook. Her skin glowed brighter when she was scared, and she could not control it. The master unlocked the cage and pulled her out by her arm. The crowd screamed with excitement when they saw her. She felt sick. She felt small. Then something strange happened. A man stepped inside the tent, and the noise around Lyra suddenly felt softer. The man was human, tall, quiet, with tired eyes and a strong jaw. His name was Jonas Heil, but she did not know that yet. His face was serious, almost angry, as he looked around the circus. He seemed uncomfortable, like he hated what he saw. When his eyes fell on Lyra, he stopped moving. The world around him seemed to freeze for a moment. Lyra slowly lifted her head, confused by the stillness. Their eyes met. Hers were glowing with fear. His were dark with shock. Jonas understood something the crowd did not. She was not an animal. She was a girl. Lyra looked away quickly. She expected him to laugh or whisper something dirty like the others. Instead, she heard his footsteps coming toward her. He walked right up to the circus master. "How much for her?" Jonas asked, his voice low and tense. The crowd gasped. Even the circus master blinked in surprise. "You want to rent her?" The master asked with a dirty smile. "No," Jonas said firmly. "I want to buy her." Lyra's heart thumped so hard she felt dizzy. No one had ever asked to buy her before. People rented her. People hurt her. People used her. But no. One wanted to take her away from the circus. The master laughed loudly. "She is expensive. She brings good money. Why would you, a human man, want someone like her?" Jonas did not smile. He kept staring at Lyra like he was trying to read a secret written on her face. "I don't like how she's treated," he said. The circus master shrugged. "She is property." "That's how property is treated." Jonas's jaw tightened. "How much?" The master told him a number so high, even Lyra looked up in shock. No human would pay that amount. Not for a creature like her. But Jonas did not walk away. He pulled out a credit card. The circus master laughed again, but this time with joy. "Very well," he said. "She is yours." The crowd whispered and stared with strange interest. Some laughed, some looked angry. Others looked confused, but Jonas did not care. He signed the papers, took the metal key, and walked to Lyra. Lyra held her breath as he opened the lock. For a moment, she thought this was a trick. Maybe someone would hit her. Maybe she would be punished for hoping. Maybe this was another cruel joke. But when Jonas pulled the cage door open, he did not grab her. He did not yell. He did not force. He knelt down slightly so his face met her. "Level, you can come out," he said softly. Lyra's lips trembled. No one had ever spoken gently to her. She whispered, scared and weak, "Please, don't leave me here." Jonas's eyes widened. She could speak, and with that one small sentence, Jonas understood everything. She was not a pleasure animal. She was a person, and he had just saved her life. Lyra stepped out of the cage slowly, like a frightened animal testing the air outside a trap. Her bare feet touched the ground, and she flinched, expecting someone to yank her back or hit her. But no one did. Jonas stood beside her, calm and steady, like a wall blocking the world from touching her. People whispered as they walked past them. Why did he buy it? It's dangerous. Humans are strange. It's pretty, though. Maybe he wants fun. Lyra heard every word. She lowered her head again. Years of shame weighed on her shoulders like cold chains. She tried to hide behind Jonas, but she didn't know how to hide anymore. She never learned what a safe place felt like. Jonas noticed the fear on her face. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're safe with me." His voice confused her. No one ever told her she was safe. Safety was something she only saw in dreams. He guided her out of the tent, away from the noise, away from the stairs. She followed him closely, unsure if this was real. The night air touched her skin, and she shivered. The stars above the circus looked wider and brighter than she remembered. For the first time, she felt the world outside the cage. Jonas opened the door of his old hover truck. Lyra hesitated. She had never been allowed inside a vehicle before. She waited for instructions like she always did in the circus. "You can sit," Jonas said gently. Lyra climbed in slowly, watching everything. With big, uncertain eyes. The seat felt soft. Soft things scared her. In the circus, soft things were only given before something painful. She hugged herself tightly. Jonas got into the driver's seat and started the engine. The hum of the vehicle made Lyra shake. She leaned against the door, ready to jump if she needed to run. "You don't have to be afraid," Jonas said again. Lyra did not answer. She did not know how to answer kindness. When they reached Jonas's home, a small cabin near the forest, Lyra froze at the door. It was too quiet, too warm, too clean. She felt like she was going to break something just by breathing. Jonas opened the door for her. "Come in," he said. Lyra stepped inside slowly, her eyes wide. The house smelled like wood, soap, and fresh air. So different from the circus. She touched the wall with her fingers and pulled away quickly, unsure if she was allowed to touch anything. Jonas placed a blanket on the couch. "You can sit here," he said. She sat, stiff and small, like she expected punishment for sitting wrong. Jonas knelt in front of her, just like he did when he freed her. "I want you to understand something," he said. "You're not property. You're not an animal. You're free now." Lyra looked at him with fear and confusion. "Free," she whispered. "Yes," shook her head, not believing him. "If I make mistake, you hurt me?" Jonas felt anger burn in his chest, not at her, but at whoever made her think this was normal. Double quotes, "No, I will never hurt you." Lyra stared at him, waiting for signs he was lying. Humans in the circus lied often. Kind words came only before pain. But Jonas's face stayed calm, steady, honest. Still, she did not know how to trust him. Trust was a skill she had never learned. Jonas stood up and returned with warm food, a simple bowl of soup. He placed it near her. "You can eat," he said. Lyra stared at the bowl like it was a trap. "In circus, food is reward," she whispered. "Only if I obey." Jonas sat on the opposite side of the room, giving her space. "Here, food is just food. You don't need to earn it." She touched the bowl with shaking hands. The warmth made her eyes soften. She took one small sip, and the taste made her cry. She had not tasted real food in years. Jonas looked away to give her privacy. She did not understand why he did that. Later, when she finished eating, she noticed him watching her arms. Her skin patterns, thin glowing lines were shimmering brighter. She quickly covered them with her hands. "Sorry," she said in panic. "I will hide them. I will make them stop." "Please don't send me back." Jonas frowned. "Why would I send you back? My marks. They glow when I am scared," she whispered. "Circus masters say it makes people angry." Jonas gently reached for her wrist to look at the glowing lines. The moment his fingers brushed her skin, a soft burst of light rippled through the room. Lyra gasped. Jonas stepped back in shock. "What was that?" he asked. Lyra shook her head, tears forming. "I don't know. I cannot control. Please don't be angry." Jonas watched her trembling form, realizing something huge. Lyra had powers she did not understand. And someone, somewhere would want those powers. The circus was only the beginning. That night, Lyra could not sleep. Jonas had given her the couch, wrapped her in a warm blanket, and turned off the lights gently, as if afraid the darkness might scare her. But she lay awake, staring at the ceiling. This house was too quiet. Too kind. Too safe. Safety felt strange. Almost painful. Every sound made her flinch, whined against the window. The soft hum of the heater, even her own breath. She kept waiting for the circus master to jump out from the shadows and drag her back. Jonas slept in the other room, but Lyra didn't understand how someone could sleep without fear. She sat up, hugging her knees, feeling the glowing lines on her arms pulse again. She covered them quickly. No glowing, no showing. No powers. Powers bring pain, the circus master used to say. Hide them, or I'll break you. Her chest tightened at the memory. When morning light touched the room, Jonas walked out, rubbing his eyes. He saw Lyra, sitting on the couch exactly as he left her, arms wrapped around her legs, skin glowing faintly, body stiff like stone. "You didn't sleep?" he asked gently. Lyra shook her head. "You could wake me if you were scared," Jonas offered. She blinked, confused. "I am not allowed to wake humans," she whispered. "Only speak when they command." Jonas sat beside her, not too close. "You can speak whenever you want here. You don't belong to anyone." Lyra stared at him like he was speaking another language. Her mind did not know how to accept freedom. Jonas knew he needed help understanding what was happening to her. He made a call, whispering so she wouldn't worry. "I found someone, an alien girl. She's scared, and she has strange glowing marks. I need you to check on her." His friend on the call was Dr. Marno, a xenobiologist who studied alien species and their abilities. She owed Jonas favors from the past. She agreed to come, but Lyra tensed the moment Jonas mentioned a doctor. "No more doctors," she said, shaking her head. "Doctors at Circus hurt me. They say I must be quiet." "This one won't hurt you," Jonas said. "She helps people." Lyra wanted to believe him, but fear held her heart tight. When Dr. Marnell arrived, she was gentle from the moment she stepped in, quiet voice, soft eyes, no sudden movements. She sat on a chair far from Lyra, giving her space. "Hello, Lyra," she said kindly. "May I speak with you?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Jonas says you have glowing patterns. May I look? Only if you want." Lyra hesitated. She looked at Jonas. He nodded softly. Lyra took a shaky breath and pulled her sleeves back. The room filled with silence. The doctor froze. Her eyes widened. Her face turned pale. "Jonas, do you know what she is?" Dr. Marnell whispered. Lyra panicked and tried to cover the marks. Again, Jonas placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "She's just Lyra," he said calmly. "Nothing else." But the doctor shook her head. "No, she's not just anything." She leaned closer, not touching, only looking carefully. "These markings, they belong to an ancient race called the Silurians. They were thought to be extinct. Their kind controlled energy, healed wounds, even moved objects with thought. They were royal bloodlines, rare, powerful. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "I do not want to be powerful," she whispered. "Power gave them reason to hurt me." Dr. Marnell's voice softened. "They hurt you because they were afraid. Solarians were not slaves, they were leaders. Your kind once ruled star systems. If others find out you are alive..." She looked at Jonas with fear. "They will come for her." Jonas felt a cold wave run through him. Who will come? Collectors, black markets, governments, anyone who wants power. A living Solarian is worth more than a whole planet. Lyra shook her head in panic. "No, I am not special. I am not strong. I only glow because I am scared." The doctor nodded. "That is the problem. If she grows stronger, her powers will awaken naturally. And once they awaken, she will not be able to hide anymore." Lyra buried her face in her hands. "I only want a home," she cried softly. "I only want to belong." Jonas felt his heart tighten. He placed a careful hand on her back and said, "You have a home now. You belong here." Lyra looked up, eyes shining with tears and fear. "But the circus, they will come back," she whispered. "They want me. They always want me." The doctor looked at Jonas. "She's right. They won't give up. They'll hunt her. A Solarian is too valuable." Jonas clenched his fists. "That I'll protect her." Lyra blinked in shock. "No one protects me," she whispered. "No one has ever protected me." Jonas met her eyes. "You're not alone anymore." Lyra stared at him long, slow, unbelieving. For the first time, hope flickered in her eyes. Small, weak, but alive. She whispered, almost afraid of her own voice, "Jonas, why are you being kind to me?" He hesitated, then said the truth. "Because someone should have been kind to you. A long time ago." And in that moment, Lyra understood something new. Humans were not all like the circus crowd. Some humans had hearts, strong enough to stand for the weak. Some humans were worth trusting, even if trust still hurt. Asterisk, for too quiet. Days, Lyra stayed inside Jonas's small cabin, trying to understand this strange new world where pain did not follow every breath. She learned how to open a door without fear, how to sit on a chair without shaking, and how to speak without asking permission. But fear still lived under her skin, waiting, whispering. Every night she lay awake, expecting the circus master to break down the door and drag her away. Jonas slept in the next room, but Lyra did not wake him. She did not want to be a burden. In her old life, burdens were punished. On the third morning, Jonas stepped outside to cut wood. Lyra watched him from the window, holding her blanket tight. He worked calmly, like a man who trusted the world. Lyra did not trust it. When a loud crack echoed through the forest, she jumped back. Jonas dropped the axe and ran to the door. But before he could reach it, a shadow passed over the cabin. A large black transport truck rolled onto the dirt road, kicking up dust. Lyra's heart froze. She recognized the logo on the side. 2 silver rings crossed together, the circus mark. She whispered in terror, "They found me." Jonas turned to her quickly. "Go inside, hide." But she did not move. Her legs shook so badly she could not run. The truck stopped. The doors swung open. 3 men stepped out, circus guards. Their faces were cold, their clothes dark, their hands already on electric prods. The tallest one smirked. "Jonas Hawley, we heard you bought our property." Jonas stepped forward, blocking their view of the door. "She's not your property." "She's ours," the man snapped. "You signed a contract. It says she cannot leave circus grounds." "That contract is illegal," Jonas said firmly. The guard shrugged. "Circus laws aren't human laws." Lyra watched from behind the curtain. Her hands shook. The glowing lines on her arms brightened with fear. She pressed them against her chest, praying the men wouldn't see the light. The guards pushed Jonas aside and walked toward the house. Jonas grabbed the nearest man by the arm. "You're not taking her." The man punched him hard in the stomach. Jonas fell to one knee, gasping. Lyra covered her mouth to stop herself from crying out. "If you fight again," the guard growled, "we'll hurt you worse. Now move." The men pushed the door open. Lyra backed into the corner of the room. Her breath came out in short, shaky bursts. The tallest guard saw her and grinned. "There you are, pretty creature. Time to go home." Lyra squeezed her eyes shut. No, please. Please don't." Her markings flared bright blue. A wave of energy burst from her body and slammed into the guard's chest, throwing him backward across the room. He crashed into the table, snapping it in half. The other two guards froze. Lyra stared at her hands in horror. I did not mean. Jonas rushed inside, holding his side. "Lyra, stop. It's okay." But the guards lifted their weapons. The second one stepped forward, shouting, "She's dangerous. She's worth even more now. The boss will pay triple." Lyra shook her head violently. More energy leaked from her skin, making the air tremble. "I don't want this. I don't want power." One guard lunged at her. Jonas reacted first. He grabbed a wooden chair and smashed it across the guard's back. The man fell to the floor with a grunt. The third guard raised his weapon toward Jonas. Lyra screamed. A dome of bright blue light exploded outward, filling the entire room. The guard flew into the wall, dropping his weapon as it sparked and died. The cabin fell silent, except for Lyra's terrified sobs. The guards, bruised and shocked, crawled toward the door. "We'll be back," one shouted. "The master will bring more men. You can't hide her. She belongs to us." They stumbled outside, dragging each other toward the truck. The vehicle roared away, leaving dust and silence behind. Inside the cabin, Lyra collapsed to her knees. "I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt them. I didn't want to hurt anyone." Jonas knelt beside her, ignoring the pain in his side. "You didn't do it on purpose," he said softly. "You were scared." Lyra covered her glowing arms. "This is why they hate me. This is why they say I'm a monster." Jonas shook his head. "You're not a monster. You're a girl who was treated like one. That's different." She looked at him with trembling eyes. "But they will come again. They will bring more men." "Yes," Jonas said honestly. "They will." Lyra swallowed hard. "Then you should send me away. Or hide me far from here. I don't want you hurt." Jonas placed a steady hand over hers. "I'm not sending you anywhere. You're not facing this alone." Lyra stared at him, fear, confusion, and something new in her eyes. A fragile, trembling hope. The day after the circus guards attacked, Jonas repaired the broken door and cleaned the smashed table. But his mind stayed on Lyra. She moved around the house quietly, almost floating, afraid to touch anything, afraid to do anything wrong. He could see she wanted to help, but fear held her like chains. When he swept the floor, she reached for the broom. "I can do," she whispered. "You don't need to," Jonas said gently. She lowered her head instantly. "Sorry, I only try to be useful." Jonas stopped sweeping. "Lyra, you're not here to be useful. You're not a worker. You're not a servant. This is your home. You can rest." Her eyes widened like she didn't understand the word. "Home?" She repeated softly. "Yes," Jonas said. "A place where you don't earn safety. You already have it." Lyra pressed her hand against her chest. Safety without earning it. The idea felt impossible. Jonas decided she needed gentle steps, small things humans did every day that she never learned. He started with simple things. "Let's eat breakfast together." Lyra froze. "In Circus, I eat alone, in cage." "Not here," Jonas said. "Here we eat together." He made eggs and bread. Lyra sat at the table, stiff as a statue, hands pressed together in her lap. Jonas placed a plate in front of her. "You can eat," he said with a smile. "No one will punish you." Lyra took a tiny bite, then another. The warmth of the food surprised her. No metal taste. No old smell. No mold. Just food, she whispered. "It's good." Jonas laughed softly. "Thank you." The small happiness on Lyra's face was something Jonas would remember forever. After breakfast, Jonas showed her simple things: how to open drawers gently, how to use a towel after washing her hands, how to turn lights on and off without fear. She watched everything carefully, repeating his movements like a student who wanted to learn perfectly. "You don't need to be perfect," Jonas said, but Lyra shook her head. "In Circus, mistakes mean pain. I try to not make mistakes." Jonas's heart tightened. "You're not in the circus anymore." She looked at him with a confused, almost frightened expression. "But my head still thinks I am." He wanted to say more, but he realized healing took time and patience. Later, Jonas gave her clothes he bought for her: soft shirts, warm pants, a gentle-colored dress. Lyra touched the fabric as if it was a treasure. In the circus, clothes were either metal ropes or small strips of cloth, used to shame her. Here, the clothes were full, warm, gentle. "Can I wear?" she asked. "Of course." She changed in the fungi bathroom and stood in front of the mirror. She saw a girl, not an animal, not a creature wearing soft human clothes. She touched her reflection and whispered, "Is this me?" Jonas knocked gently. "Everything okay?" She opened the door a little, shy. Jonas smiled. "You look comfortable." Lyra blinked. Compliments were new to her. "Thank you," she whispered. That afternoon, Jonas tried to teach her something. Even more important, trust. He sat on the couch. "Lyra, can you sit with me?" She hesitated. Then slowly, she sat on the opposite edge of the couch, as far as she could without falling off. Jonas laughed softly. "You don't have to sit so far away." She moved a little closer, like a scared animal approaching a hand for the first time. "Why are you kind to me?" she asked quietly. Jonas thought for a moment. "Because no one else was," he said, "and because you deserve kindness." Lyra stared at him, searching his face for lies. "You don't want anything from me?" "No," Jonas said simply. "Just for you to feel safe." Her throat tightened. No one had ever said such words. She looked down at her hands. Her glowing patterns were dim today, calmer. "Jonas, if you are hurt because of me, I will feel guilty forever." He shook his head. "I knew the danger when I bought you. I don't regret it." Her voice trembled. "Even if Circus comes again, even then." Her eyes filled with tears, but not from fear. This time from something new: warmth. That night, Jonas went outside to bring in firewood. When he returned, he found Lyra sitting near the window, watching the stars. She turned her head slightly. "In Circus," she said, "I could not see the sky, only the tent roof. Now, I can see everything." She pointed lightly. "That star. My mother used to show it to me when I was very small." Jonas sat beside her, not touching. "Do you miss her?" Lyra nodded slowly. "She sold me. But she was scared. We were poor. I do not know if she is alive now." Jonas felt her pain. He spoke softly. "You're not alone anymore." Lyra looked at him carefully. "I want to believe that," she whispered. "But part of me still thinks this is dream." Jonas smiled. "Then I'll keep proving it's real." Lyra lowered her head, shy, shaking lightly with emotion. "Jonas, I like your world. I like feeling human." He nodded. "You are human enough." For the first time, Lyra smiled, a real, soft smile, a smile that said her heart was beginning to heal. For the next 2 days, the forest around Jonas's cabin stayed quiet. Too quiet. Lyra felt the silence pressing on her chest. She knew the circus guards were out there somewhere, watching, waiting, planning. Jonas stepped outside. Lyra peeked through the window to make sure he was safe. She never realized how strongly she feared losing him, until the fear became a constant ache inside her. Jonas tried to give her normal days simple meals, warm tea, soft blankets, but her mind always returned to the same thought: they will come back. On the morning of the third day, Jonas made a decision. "We need help," he said. "We can't do this alone." Lyra's eyes widened with alarm. "Help? From who?" "Humans will take me. They will study me." "No," Jonas said, shaking his head. "Not all humans. Some want to protect." He contacted the Interplanetary Rights Bureau, a government group that protected alien refugees. They agreed to send an officer. Lyra paced the cabin anxiously. "What if they lock me in a white room?" she whispered. "What if they put wires on me? What if they call Circus to take me?" Jonas rested a gentle hand on her shoulder. "I won't let that happen. I'll be beside you the whole time." Her glowing patterns flickered softly. She trusted his voice. Even when her fear tried to take over, when the government officer arrived, she stepped out of her silver hover car. With slow, careful movements. She was a middle-aged woman with calm eyes and no weapon in sight. "I'm Officer Rain," she said kindly. "I'm here to help." Lyra stood behind Jonas, silently shaking. Her glowing marks began to brighten again. Jonas felt her fear and spoke calmly. "She's scared," he said. "Please go slowly." Officer Rain nodded and knelt at a distance, lowering herself to Lyra's level without getting too close. "Lyra," she said softly, "I'm not here to take you away. I'm here because Jonas said you were in danger." Lyra peeked at Jonas. His steady look told her she could speak. "My circus wants me back," she whispered. "They think I am property." Officer Rain's face hardened with anger, not at Lyra, but at the cruelty she had survived. "No person is property," she said. "Not in human law, not in alien law, not in any law." Lyra's throat tightened. She had never heard anyone say those words with such firmness. Officer Rain continued, "We can give you protection. We can make sure the circus is punished for what they did." Lyra hesitated, then asked the question that had lived in her heart like a wound. "If you protect me, what do you want from me?" "Nothing," the officer answered. "Just your safety." Lyra stared. She did not know how to process kindness without a price. But before Officer Rain could explain further, a distant rumbling echoed through the trees. Jonas tensed. Lyra gasped that the circus was back. A second truck rolled down the forest path, bigger, stronger, loaded with more men. They did not bother with hiding this time. Officer Rain stepped in front of Lyra and Jonas. "No one touches her," she said firmly. But the guards ignored her authority. "She belongs to us," one shouted. "Move or we move you." Officer Rain stayed calm but did not back down. "She is under government protection now." The circus master himself stepped out of the truck, a tall man with cold eyes, a smile like a knife. "Protection?" He sneered. "She is a rare creature, a Solarian, worth a fortune. You think the Bureau will fight us for a glowing animal?" Lyra flinched at the word, animal. Jonas stepped forward, voice full of fire. "She is a girl, and she has rights." "The circus." Master laughed. "Then why did someone sell her? Why did she serve in my tent? Humans don't care what she is. They just want the show." He reached out his hand. "Come, little creature. You know your place." Lyra's markings flickered. Her breath shook. Old fear pulled her backward. But Jonas spoke softly. "Lyra, you don't have to go. Not this time." She turned her head toward him. His eyes were steady. His presence was warm. His voice was her anchor. Something changed inside her. Something rose up. Lyra stepped forward, not toward the circus master, but toward Jonas. She took his hand, gripping it tightly. "No," she said, voice trembling but strong. "I choose my place. And it is not with you." The circus master's face twisted with rage. "You dare speak back? You think you are equal to humans?" Lyra lifted her chin. "I am a person. And she pointed to Jonas, treated me like one." The energy inside her began to glow stronger. Not wild this time, not chaotic. More controlled. More focused. The circus men stepped back. Officer Rain whispered in awe, "She's learning to use her power." Jonas squeezed her hand. "You're doing great," he said. And Lyra realized something powerful. She was not a weak creature. She was not a trapped animal. She was not someone's property. She was choosing her future for the first time in her life. She felt free. The forest felt frozen as Lyra stood between Jonas and the circus master. The blue glow on her arms pulsed like a heartbeat, steady, strong, alive. For the first time, she wasn't shaking in fear. She was shaking with something new, determination. The circus guards stepped closer, raising their weapons. Officer Rain pulled out her badge and shouted, "Stop! You are breaking federal alien protection laws." But the circus master laughed and snapped his fingers. "Take the girl. If the human interferes, remove him." Jonas pulled Lyra behind him. "No one touches her." The guards rushed forward. Something inside Lyra snapped. She could not watch Jonas get hurt. She could not go back to the cage. She could not let her life be stolen again. Her glowing patterns lit up completely, turning bright blue-white. Wind rushed in from every direction, swirling around her. Leaves flew. The ground shook. The guards stumbled back, terrified. The circus master's smile vanished. Lyra stepped forward, her feet light against the trembling earth. "I said no," she whispered. The air exploded with light. A protective dome burst outward, throwing the guards into the trees. Their weapons cracked and sparked uselessly on the ground. Officer Rain shielded her eyes as the blue light spiraled around Lyra like living fire. Jonas stood still, watching her with awe, not fear. The circus master crawled backward. You don't know what you're doing. You're not trained." Lyra lifted her head. "I am tired of being afraid. I am tired of being owned." Her voice echoed with a soft energy that made the air hum. The circus master tried to run back to the truck. Lyra raised her hand. A wave of energy lifted him off the ground and pinned him gently but firmly to a tree. She could have crushed him. She could have hurt him the way he hurt her. But she didn't. She only held him there, unable to escape. Officer Rain stared in amazement. "You're controlling it. You're actually controlling your power." Lyra kept her eyes fixed on the circus master. "You treated me like an animal," she said quietly. "But I am a person. I have a name, I have a life, and I choose who I stay with." The circus master trembled. You won't kill me?" Lyra lowered her hand. "No, I am not like you." The energy released him. He fell to the ground shaking. Officer Rain stepped closer and cuffed the circus master as he reached for his truck. "You are under arrest for trafficking, abuse, and illegal alien captivity." The remaining circus guards tried to flee, but law enforcement drones from Rain's ship swooped in and trapped them in bright beams of light. It was over. The circus operation that had stolen Lyra's life was finished. When the forest fell quiet again, Lyra's glowing patterns dimmed until they were soft and faint. She swayed, exhausted. Jonas rushed forward and caught her gently before she fell. "You did it," he whispered. "You're safe. Now it's over." Lyra leaned into him, breath unsteady. "I didn't want to hurt them," she whispered. "I only wanted to protect you." Jonas smiled softly. "And you did." Officer Rain approached with slow steps, respectful. "Lyra," she said, "you are officially under government protection." The circus is shut down, and no one can claim ownership over you anymore. You are free to choose where you want to live. Lyra looked at Jonas. Her voice shook. I want to stay with him. Jonas blinked, surprised. Are you sure? You have other options now. Safe places, protection teams, programs made for aliens. But Lyra shook her head. You bought my freedom. But you gave me more than that. You gave me a home. You gave me safety. You spoke to me like I was a person. I want to stay. Because I choose it, not because I owe you. Jonas felt something warm rise in his chest. Then stay, he said. Softly, as long as you want. My home is your home. Lyra's eyes filled with tears, happy tears this time. Jonas, I have one more question. He wiped a strand of hair from her cheek. What is it? Her voice came out small, hopeful. In my world, when someone saves your life and treats you with honor, you join your life with theirs. You become their partner, their family, their future. Humans do this too. Yes, Jonas stared at her, stunned but in a soft way. Yes, he said. Humans call that marriage. Lyra swallowed hard. Then, if you want, I wish to marry you, not because I must, not because you bought me, but because my heart chooses you. Jonas's breath caught in his throat. He gently held her hands, glowing faintly in his own. I choose you too, he whispered. Lyra smiled, a real radiant smile that lit her whole face, and for the first time in her life, she felt seen, not as an alien, not as property, not as a creature, but as a woman who belonged somewhere, a woman who was loved, a woman with a future, a woman who finally was free.